Hello, everybody, and welcome to another podcast called Chats Under the Cherry Tree. And this is going to be super exciting because we have Mr. G.
Hello.
So exciting. Also known as Jamie. How are you?
Really good.
What's it like? You're about to be a published author.
I just want to start off by thanking Sweet Cherry, obviously giving me this opportunity, this platform to be able to, write this incredible book that I know is going to make, a positive difference to so many lives. So, yeah, just want to thank you guys for
No problem at all. I mean, how could we not? Abdul, our founder, was obsessed and said, you need to get this guy. And I can't believe that a simple message to you.
I know.
And now we're here.
Unbelievable.
Just literally, what, a few weeks away from Pub Day?
We've got publication date is the 25th of September.
Yeah.
And then we've got, ADHD Awareness Month.
Straight after.
In October. So,
it's almost like we planned it.
I know.
Don't know what that's about.
It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, so this is going to be, obviously, help so many children, especially going back to school in September. But all those children who are obviously not sure about ADHD, they could be on the waiting list, parents looking for answers as well. Super accessible, and I just can't wait for it to get out there.
And that is one of the things that we found being in this space is the amount of resources that aren't out there for these kids and these parents and their friends. And this is what we think this book is. It covers everybody. So even if you've got an ADHD friend, you can pick up this book and learn why your friend is like that.
Absolutely.
Is that good?
Yeah, then obviously strategies to support as well. So, it's non-fiction, so it's packed with information, packed with strategies, loads of ways to help and, try and learn about this beautiful condition and understand it and accept it.
So how does an ADHD person, because I believe you have ADHD too, how does an ADHD person sit down and write a book?
Great question. It was quite hard for me to manage the process because I didn't know how long these things take. In terms, I'm quite impatient with my ADHD, so I was thinking, is it going to be really fast? The actual writing, I was really fortunate. My wife kind of set me up like a hyper-focus station. So I had my own little office area, little bits of novelty around. It was really calming, nice plants, similar to what you see there, nice aesthetic, and that really helped me just to get into the kind of mindset of becoming an author and try and not get that writer's fatigue and just unlock my hyper focus. Having that little area definitely helps. Kind of block out the world. This is it. This is my mission. And
what planning did you do? Did you kind of write out what you wanted to do, what you wanted to say, and go almost chapter for chapter?
Yeah. I had to structure it like that. But it didn't flow like that in the actual writing. So I didn't go chapter 1. I'm going to write that chapter 2. I might have went. I'm going to do a bit on chapter 7. Or actually, I'm going to do a bit on chapter 5. So then it kind of fluctuate like that a little bit. So
So you're famous online for your dance breaks.
That's generous.
Explain how you're going to do dance breaks on here.
So yeah, I'm really proud of this. I think this is the only book in the world that actually does this. I'm not sure, but this book has a built-in movement break halfway through.
Love that.
Halfway through the book, there's a movement break where you can follow a tutorial, and there's a QR code there that you can even scan as well, and it'll take you to a video where you can do this movement break. For 2-3 minutes, you can regulate yourself, and then you can come back to the book later, and you can repeat that movement break as many times as you need as well.
Good.
So there's not many books that actually encourage you. Hang on a minute, let's put the book down for a second. Let's get our bodies moving. And let's go back to the book later.
Yeah,
so
of course.
That's a really.
It's designed to be picked up and dropped and picked up again. So. Wrapped up. Please tell me there's wraps.
Yeah, there is. There's 12 wraps in total. The reason we've tried to include the wraps is it's just for the engagement of the ADHD brain, and some of the wraps, you can actually get a dopamine hit from them and get a really good feeling of dopamine going through your body as well. Because there's been studies from neuroscientists that some people with ADHD have a lack of dopamine. So that's the reason why we've got the wraps in there. And it's just a really cool and engaging way where you can, pick up information. And, not everything just has to be, just auditory, it's just.
So you really thought about the book. So you get a dopamine hit by the wraps. You've got movement break. You've got actual manageable pieces of information, so kids can read it and be like, okay, that got that info, got that tool, I can go now practice that.
Absolutely.
What other things have you done that's special in this book that's different to every other book?
the reason I love this is that, particularly my social media following on Instagram, they had a say in the creation of the book. So we put out a poll on font, trying to make like ADHD friendly font. You know, we got over 5,000 responses on that. Yeah. And there was 98% chose the font that's in the book.
Oh, that's amazing. So your followers helped you create.
Absolutely.
This is amazing.
Absolutely. But in terms of, you know, the book itself, you know, it's got like sensory points. That's it. You know, it's got a built-in fidget feature. Yeah. So where you got obviously the mnemonic butterfly, which we'll talk about in a second. Yeah. So you can, you know, as you're reading this, it's got sensory points. So these, you know, these are super sensory. So you might, depending on where you're holding the book, if it's there, you could. That smiley's a nice one for me. So I like holding the smiley. One. You can.
And you've got the microphone.
You got the microphone. Yeah. You got the wrapped up bit. So as you're reading, you can be, you know, fidgeting with these sensory points. That's going to it's going to help an ADHD brain to engage in the book. Yes. And then, you know, I've chosen, you know, orange as the colour. So orange is the official colour of ADHD, shows how bright and energetic the condition is. And I've got the mnemonic butterfly, which is the official symbol of ADHD, shows how the ADHD brain can flutter one thing to another. Oh. Yet there's beauty in the condition.
Love this.
And then you'll see like these lots of little doodles. Yeah. So the reason for that is that doodling is a trait of inattentive ADHD, which is one of the 3 types. So throughout this book, there's lots of little doodles as well, and that's
so
just
what
inattentive.
Does the doodle do for a kid? So they could be doodling in class, and does that help them retain information?
So there's a misconception from teachers: if a child is not giving you eye contact, they're not taking in information, whereas that's not actually true. So what I do is you can provide like a doodle sheet. Because often like if you provide an exercise book or a worksheet, the child's going to like kind of graffiti over it and doodle over it, which doesn't make the worksheet look great. So what you can do is just have a blank A4 bit of paper there,
on the side,
and have a little doodle sheet, so they can be doodling while you're getting still taking information. So that's
really important information. Like, is this something you want to get across for schools?
Absolutely.
I feel like this is important.
Absolutely, I think every school should have this book. You know, there's lots of tips in here. You can make your classrooms more ADHD inclusive. So yeah, absolutely, I love.
And they should definitely follow you.
Yes, and we've got obviously the resource pack as well.
The resource pack is there, and then you've got your new YouTube channel. Is this correct?
Yes. So we've started just with some movement breaks on there, designed for an ADHD brain. So if you've got a class with high levels of hyperactivity, you can follow one of the movement break tutorials, and then if you've still got high levels of hyperactivity after that, you can either redo the movement break at a more higher intensity, or you can follow some of the breathing techniques, which will kind of slow you down.
And I love this because this is a really good tool for teachers, because they don't have to learn to dance.
No, absolutely not.
They can just be like, let's just have a movement break. Off you go.
Just put
and they can just have a cup of tea on the side.
But you know, it's like I just started shuffling in lockdown. You know, I'm not a professional. I'm learning all the time. But it's the process of the movement break. You know, as you're practicing it, you're going to get it wrong, but it's the process, and
it's really the pause and then resetting and being able to get back.
And that's what regulation is.
Yeah. And the other thing I love about this book is that it doesn't look boring.
No, absolutely not. So we've designed it for an ADHD brain. Yeah. So there's lots of things in there to engage. So it's the text is broken down into manageable chunks. You'll see certain things underlined, some certain things in bold font. Yeah. The raps are kind of read in a different way. You can either read them out loud or you can listen on the audiobook. Yeah. Some of them have got music. They've got like a backing track on, which is amazing. I didn't know that could be possible.
And the other characters that you meet in the book, because there's some wonderful illustrations here.
There's 4 characters with ADHD in the book, and they all have different types of ADHD as well.
Oh, so is that intentional?
That's intentional, just to show.
And are they based on any of your kids in the classroom by any chance?
No, they're not. They're just
I thought you might want to give a little shout out. That is amazing. And then obviously they can rap for themselves if they want.
Yeah, so there's some key strategies in there what I want to take away. Yeah. Hope this book's hopefully the one of it is the first in a trilogy. So I want this book to give people with ADHD the understanding to learn from it, to manage it, and to gain resilience and acceptance, so we can deal with some of the trickier stuff later on in book number 2 and 3. So this is going to be like, this is me, it's ADHD, but I'm a big believer in acceptance is a key part in that. If you know your triggers and you've got strategies to help, if you kind of neglect your ADHD, and that's where, you know, problems happen like later.
So everything in here is tried, tested, in a classroom, works on children, which is brilliant. So before you were diagnosed, because you were only recently diagnosed, how did you manage this?
So,
and how did your parents manage this?
I talk about in the book quite a bit to do with masking. So masking ADHD. I think I was a master of masking. So, you know, I was diagnosed with ADHD at 34 in adulthood, which with combined ADHD. So that means I had the inattentiveness. So there's obviously 3 types of ADHD: inattentive ADHD, hyperactive impulsive ADHD, or combined, which is the mixture of the inattentiveness and the hyperactivity and the impulsiveness. So I was combined with, I was diagnosed with combined, which is, you know, the full whack. The full whack. So to not, you know, for that not to be picked up in childhood, you know, there's a few reasons why that could be. One of them is that I masked my symptoms really well. So masking does have, you know, pros and cons. The pros was I masked and was able to fit in with a really good peer group that I'm still in touch with now. The cons is you're not being true to your full self. So that can lead to like burnout and exhaustion. So you'll often have the case where you'll say, oh well, they're completely fine at school, and then when they get home, boof.
So were you acting out at home, and how did you?
I wasn't as much, but some of the case studies that, you know, that people say, that's a really common one, of children doing really well at school, and, you know, it's all coming out at home, and it's actually like a strength of the parent, because they've created such a safe and secure base that child feels they can be them complete selves,
100%.
without like judgment. So we as educators, and that's, you know, that's me included, we have to do everything we can to make our classrooms more inclusive, so children don't mask. And that's what I would like. I would like this book to be able to be. You know, I'm pulling my mask down. This is my ADHD. Like, come on, let's get through this together. So yeah, I could have. Yeah. So I don't know how my hyperactivity kind of wasn't picked up. But I think it was a lot of it was to do with my mum. And she got me into sport from a really early age.
That's a top tip.
So I think that you know, controlled my levels of hyperactivity. So I was playing football from like 5-year-old all the way up, and well, I've only started, like, retired a few years ago, so it's always been like a massive part of my life. I'm doing the coaching now as well, so I'm still, you know, active. Still active, My school are really inclusive, so I'll go on morning break in the mornings and like, play football with the kids to help my hyperactivity. So I'm on the leadership team now, so I'm always on the move. So I'm never in the office. And that really helps me manage as well.
Brilliant.
But I think it's just we're knowing more about the neuroscience now than we did. So, you know, ADHD wasn't, you know, recognised by the NHS as a neurodevelopmental condition until the year 2000. So anything, you know, before that, that's me included, I was born in 1990. So we're still learning about ADHD, we're still learning about it now. We could be here in 10 years' time and they might have to review the terminology of ADHD.
The whole book will need to be rewritten.
We'll have to rewrite
hopefully.
It. Hopefully.
It might even not be needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which would be amazing.
Because, you know, this challenge is it really a deficit of attention when, you know, you can hyperfocus? Hyperfocus is an amazing contradiction of that. So is ADHD more interest-based? So, yeah. Really
which you've shown in this book, because you hyperfocus on the book.
Definitely.
And I've learned it the hard way, not with you, before you. We've had a few incidents where we've hired ADHD authors. They've done an amazing job writing the book, and then we're like, here, let's do the sequel. And they're just like, sorry, you're going to have to wait till the hyperfocus come back. So we know never to do that.
The dopamine hit, because I'm not medicated for my ADHD. I've you know, medication, I've seen medication change children's lives, but I've kind of managed all, like, throughout my life without it. So it's not right for me. You've got to make sure it's right for you. You know, and
I think that's an important thing for parents and listeners to know, and viewers to know, that medication may not always be the solution, and this is why it's good to have these other things.
Absolutely. But
or while you're waiting, you can try these things.
Because obviously the waiting list now, you know, is getting bigger and bigger, and this will hopefully, you know, provide some strategies and get some answers as well. You might pick up this book and resonate and think, actually, I'm hitting a lot of these traits, And then, well, what can I do to help? Oh, I can do this, I can do this, do this breathing technique. I'm struggling with my anger management. Right, let's go to the anger management chapter. Let's work through it together. So yeah, I think a lot of it is to do the, you know, self-awareness as well, you know, knowing yourself. But the dopamine hit I received from this was, you know, like completing a project and, you know, getting it done. This is hopefully the
seeing it on print.
Seeing it, you know, it's like it's just an unbelievable moment. Then coming to film the audio book and like, doing the raps to music, like amazing in a little studio with like oh, amazing.
You 100% deserve it. And one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about is you're not the first generation teacher. No. Tell me more about this, because this is fantastic.
So my granddad was a head teacher of, it was called an ABD school back then, which was emotional behavioural difficulty. So the terminology has changed. So it's the exact same environment that I'm in now. So I'm a teacher for children with social, emotional, mental health difficulties. A lot of our children are neurodivergent, over 90%. Yeah. So they have like a diagnosis of an ADHD and autism are the main ones. We've got dyslexia as well, and some other really fascinating ones. So it kind of.
So your granddad.
My granddad, he was a head teacher.
Pause. Go. Wow, he was a head teacher in a similar type of school that you work to now, which is incredible. So you're literally passing on the legacy. Yeah. And then who was generation 2?
So my mum's works at the school I'm at now. So I wanted to go in the RAF when I was younger, and that didn't work out. And that hit me really hard. Yeah. Obviously, like being highly sensitive and a little bit of RSD, which we're talking about with book 2.
Yes.
So I kind of hit me hard. Didn't know what to do. My mum's like, well, why don't you come volunteer at my school? Yes. So this was 17 years old. I was like, I don't think I can do that because you know, I had a bit of obviously a reputation of a naughty boys school and things like that.
Yeah, school did not have great connotations.
And you know, and even when I started at 17, ADHD was considered a myth, even to professionals, you know, men working. So we've came so far. You know, it's not bad behaviour. It's not like it's not naughty kids. Behaviour is a form of communication, so we need to like trace it back. So what was that? You know, what's happened? What's the trigger? So I have came on massively from that. But yeah, I volunteered at 17, and straight away. I was put in with a year 11 class, you know, so I kind of blended in with it. I had a baby face. I blended in with it. I didn't have this big thick beard. So all these wrinkles. That's working from 10 years in teaching. But I blended in with I was just this young lad with combined ADHD. Didn't know it, but I had this ability to relate to those year 11s from a really early age. So when they were walking out of class with trying to manage their emotions. And on the corridors, I didn't just let them go off. Yeah. I went over and approached, and I had this kind of natural kind of calming aura. And the reason, like looking back now, is because I had the same brain type. Yes. So that's why.
So you could completely understand where they were coming from.
Completely relate, and say, I can see you struggling with hyperactivity. Do you want to go have a kickabout with me for 5 minutes and we'll come back? Yeah. And then my head teacher pulled me and said, that's a bit unique. Yeah. So a week later, I was offered a teaching assistant contract. Then 2 weeks after that, he put me onto a higher level teacher assistant. And he said, go. This was around about November time, and then he said, stay till the end of the academic year. Go away, get your degree, and come back, and I'll give you a job as a teacher. And that's exactly what happened. Now I am assistant head teacher there.
Yeah. But isn't that amazing that somebody recognised what you did was different, special, more importantly, very needed in that school. Yeah. And that's why it takes good people to support you and encourage you to get somewhere.
Absolutely.
And like you literally walked out with a degree and into a job. That's amazing.
It's having that belief, My teachers at school, I had like a PE teacher who was amazing. Looking back, it was because of the hyperactivity. He was able to manage that hyperactivity in like a physical environment. I've had other teachers, like I'm obviously not going to name, but like a maths teacher who said, I'm not going to quit anything in life, I was really so.
And look at you now.
It's not bad. It's not bad. But yeah,
let's send him a signed copy.
Try not like to let like one person like kind of bring you down. And
I think that's an important message to get across to kids.
Absolutely.
Everything is fine. Yeah. One person's opinion does not inform who you are.
And you may not have just met the right person yet who understands your brain. Yeah. Looking back, that teacher obviously did not understand my brain at all. But if he knew the information now, would he have adapted his practice to suit my needs? Yeah, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I would hope so, anyway.
But, be your own champion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm all about informing yourself, and that's what this book is. Yeah. Which is informing yourself.
Absolutely.
So, well, come on then, what's next for you? Because you've got this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
hinted that there's a sequel, which I'm very excited about.
I'm hoping this is going to be the first of a trilogy if this does well. So I'm hoping this gives you the resilience, the acceptance, and empowers you. And that's why we've got ADHD, like POW. Yeah. It's just like POW. This is me. This is ADHD, and let's accept this. Let's learn from it, and let's use strategies to really help and regulate ourselves. Yeah. So then book 2 or 3, let's unpick some of the trickier stuff, some of the stuff that is a little bit harder to manage.
Yes.
So this goes through all the main traits of ADHD: impulsiveness, hyperactivity, inattentiveness, masking, breathing techniques, anger management, your stress responses. So once you can sort of get all those under control, let's start digging into the deeper stuff. Let's talk about RSD. Yeah. Let's talk about object.
So what's RSD? Because we don't know. So Mr. G, teach us.
So RSD stands for rejection sensitivity dysphoria.
Okay.
And I've forgotten.
How can that manifest itself in like a classroom or in a home environment?
So I've got like an analogy to describe it. So if you imagine a neurotypical. Mm-hmm. And they're wearing a suit of armour and they've got a shield. Yeah. So rejection, you might get a rejection attack. If you're a neurotypical and you've got your suit of armour on and you've got your shield, rejection, bang, you block it, you defend it straight away. Now, a neurotypical, they don't have... neurodivergent, they don't have the suit of armour on. They don't have the shield. So when they get that rejection, when that attack, you feel it. So you feel it in 2 ways. You feel it emotionally. So you feel the emotional pain. You can also feel it physically as well. So what happens, like your heart can beat faster. Yeah. Your chest you can get tightness in your chest, and you can feel like you feel it in your stomach as well. So you can, it hurts. It actually hurts. So, there's...
And it can be anything. So if somebody doesn't want to have lunch with you this break
time... you overthink it.
Or they're just like, oh, no, I'm going to play football instead of, hanging out. So you feel that, even though it's actually not to do...
Absolutely. It could be like a key thing that you do get rejection for. If everyone hated this book, that would hurt me.
Oh.
So things like that.
I think you're fine.
Or it could be things like... you overthinking. So something that hasn't even happened in RSD could happen then, because you've got this fear of being rejected. So you're neurodivergent, or you can be highly sensitive, and obviously that links to.
So how did you get to making this book and not allow all of that stuff to stop you?
Absolutely. So I think the key thing, what this book really tries to build is resilience. Really tries to build your resilience, and just having an understanding. And breaking down the key things, most people have like a go-to stress response. Yeah. For me, it's flight. So I talk about it in the book. Okay. When things, gets too overwhelming for me, I'll just take myself away completely.
Which is representative of a lot of kids who want to walk out.
A lot of ADHD children. Well, you'll see that. You'll see that withdrawal. You see the flight. You'll see the hood down. The hood down, or like the hood's a sense of security. Yes. So if I put this hood up, that's me safe. I'm blocking you guys out. I'm blocking you. This is me. So you shouldn't. If you ever have a child who's got the hood up like this and they never remove it or anything, that's them saying like leave me. I need some time. But it talks about obviously the fight response as well. Like trying to stand your ground and fight. Do you have to stand right now? Can you reflect? And it doesn't mean like physically fight as well. It could be like during like a confrontation, just trying to like argue your point, because people with ADHD are super passionate as well.
Super passionate. And is that whole thing about fairness?
Yeah. Unfairness is a massive trigger, which we talk about in the book as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So if a child was to pick this up, what page would you go? Go to this page first, because this is going to really go into it.
Yeah. So the way obviously it goes through like the introduction. You can read it like that chronologically, but it's also accessible if you think I'm really struggling with my stress responses. Let's go to that chapter. Yeah. Go to chapter. Which one is it?
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm looking like it's
chapter
so
7.
good
to chapter 7.
If you feel like you're struggling with your anger management, you can immediately go to chapter 6.
Absolutely.
And this and even breathing techniques. Yeah. I love that everything is so accessible.
But you could read this. The reason we say no ADHD story is ever the same, but you want to read this one again and again, is there'll be times in your life thinking, oh, hang on a minute, I'm struggling with. My stress responses today, so I'm going to go to chapter 7 and just remind myself that, right, what can I do? Yeah. Or, I'm struggling with my anger management today, or, I'm struggling with my impulsiveness today, like, what can I do? So,
Every home, every library, every school.
That's the aim. That's the aim.
It's very, very important. top tip for parents who are going through this, because you had an awesome mum.
Yes.
Who was a great support to you, and in your career you've had, teachers look at you and go, yes, there's something special. There are loads of mums who are struggling with this on their own, or parents struggling with this on their own, going, what do I do while we're waiting for the diagnosis, while they're trying to convince, doctors to take this seriously?
Yeah.
What sort of advice would you give them?
It's a great question. It's a great question. I've written this, obviously, for children, but I think you even as a parent of a child with ADHD, you would still get a lot out of it.
100%
as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's just trying to use your support network if you can. Reach out, talk to people. I'm really proud of my Instagram community in particular. I feel like I've got a real. I owe them. I feel like they push me to be like, right, you've got this platform now. You're the guy. Like, let's start making changes.
Yes.
I'm wanting to do things. I'm wanting to change the national curriculum, make it more
100%.
Inclusive.
Yes.
I'm in the process of designing courses now for educators to understand ADHD more, but also from a parental side as well. So how can we actually support a child at home as well?
Yeah. So you're canvassing and campaigning government for legislation change on curriculum.
Absolutely.
So there's a little bit more understanding. So people like you, teachers like you, have access and can help more kids.
It's the whole, there's the whole education system as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've received like an hour or 2 hours training on this.
Yeah.
And I work with ADHD. I've worked with ADHD daily since I've been 17.
Yes.
Obviously, I've went away, but I've been teaching for 10 years, so I work with ADHD every day. And it's the reason I'm able to relate to like that is because I've from personal experiences and understanding. And if you're not trained in that, then that can be really difficult to identify. So there's an issue with that.
Yes.
And that's what obviously the courses are going to try and develop. Teachers, especially early career teachers, who. Because, especially mainstream schools, there's a higher prevalence of a child with ADHD in those settings as well. And if their needs are met correctly, they can manage in mainstreams. Absolutely.
I wanted to ask a question about boys and girls. How does ADHD manifest? Is it different?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it can be different. Obviously, it depends on the individual. So I've got a girl in my class who's she's very, very typical of the combined type, very similar to myself. But I also have, girls are better at masking. There's loads of evidence out there to show that they are better at masking. They don't want to remove that mask in front of peers. They're afraid of the judgment, and a lot of the girls are more inattentive. So it's harder to identify in the classrooms, which is a difficulty. The studies now that. Because inattentive ADHD used to be called just ADD, so attention deficit disorder without the hyperactivity, but scientists have found, well, actually, inattentive ADHD, you can have internal hyperactivity, so racing thoughts, decision paralysis, time paralysis, multiple voices in there, inner monologue. So you've got all this, really busy brain, which is hard to identify in the classroom. So what I do...
Because it's not easily visible.
No, absolutely.
If a child gets up and walks out, there's a problem.
Absolutely.
But a little girl who's obviously got that inner monologue.
So the things to look out in the classroom is, if that child answers a question that's completely unrelated. So the way I do that is just challenge it in a nice way and just say, were you thinking about something else then?
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about that. Oh, that could be, that could actually be a sign. Or, if they have the hand up or they don't have the hand up and you ask them a question, and it's a complete blank, that could be decision paralysis, and be like, I'm going to ask you this question, this is what it is, and I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to think about it. Why don't you have a think about it? And I'm going to come back and ask you later. And you don't have to do that in front of the whole class, because they might feel like a bit embarrassed or humiliated publicly. You can do that on a one-on-one basis to come over and
or
say,
you could even say to the whole class, I'm going to ask this question. So write the question down, have a little think about it while I'm talking, and then when I get to that point, if you think you've got a good answer or you think you've got the right answer, put your hand up. And then you're you're treating everybody the same, but you're allowing that ADHD person to have that extra time to be like, actually, this is good, and it's very inclusive.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing I wanted to ask you was, is it hereditary?
Yes, so there was obviously...
So who did you get it from? Your mum?
Well, I'm the this is it. So I'm the first one who's officially been diagnosed with ADHD. And what we know from the neuroscientists that it is genetic. Yeah. So what they say is it's normally like 50% from either parent.
Okay.
As I've got 2 children as well. So
oh, yes.
Kind of know which one has got.
Do you?
Yeah, a little bit. But in terms of my mum and dad, I think, you know, I can see definite inattentiveness from both, and see hyperactivity from one parent.
Okay.
So I think it just went...
And do you think that's why they were so good with you? Because they really felt for you? Because they probably...
That's a great point.
That's my job, to point these things out.
I've never self-reflected on that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because, you know, it's really good that you have such great parents, but yeah, it sort of tells me that they either knew about it or experienced it firsthand, because you were so empathetic with your kids.
Yeah, well, my mum said she always knew. I said, well, why didn't you help us when I was younger? Yeah. So I don't know if that was a lot of rubbish.
But also, don't you think for your mum, she doesn't want to just go around giving you labels?
Yeah, the label things, like, you know, I get that side of it, but also the label, especially in schools, can provide so much extra support and understanding. And, you know, if you're going to have to tailor your teaching around that as well. Yeah. You're going to have to hit your learning objective in a different way. Yeah. So it might not just be like, you know, listening to the teacher for 20 minutes. That's not going to work for an ADHD. Yeah. You're going to have to break it down. You're going to have to segment it. You might have to offer something more visual rather than just auditory learning. If you're just, you know, just talking for like 20 minutes, you're not going to have the engagement. So how can you hit that learning objective? Can it be visual? Can it be kinesthetic? Can you learn through movement? That's what kinesthetic is. Can you learn through movement? Can you provide that learning objective with an alternative activity? Still hit the objective, but just in a different learning style.
But I think what you're proposing works for every child. I don't think this is an ADHD child thing. Yeah. I think you have more success of making this into the curriculum by saying, just by doing this, every child will be engaged. Because I'm sure no kid wants to sit there for 20, 30 minutes being talked at.
Like the national curriculum, I'm still teaching things in that. You know, I'm doing Jekyll and Hyde for my English GCSE literature that I did at school. Yeah. I'm still doing Shakespeare that I did at school.
Cool, yeah. So nothing's moved on.
We need to evolve. Like, we really need to evolve. If I had, you know, a magic wand, what would happen?
Yes.
In the morning, we would concentrate on our core subjects and make sure all our children are, you know, functional in their English, their maths, digitally as well, so they know how to be safe. Yeah. And then in the afternoon, let's pursue personal interests. Let's, you know, if I've got someone who's into a cause,
this is brilliant.
Let them get out there, you know, use the local community and really pursue personal interests, because that's when you're going to get engagement. Yeah, and when, you know, as the school day goes on, your tension drops. Yeah. If you know that you've got this incentive in the afternoon, think, right, I'm going to get through my reading, my English and maths in the morning. In the afternoon, I'm going to the car garage. I'm going to... That's a massive incentive, and I guarantee you would see more progress in those core areas as well if you have that.
That is awesome. And then plus it funnels the right kids to the right industries, as opposed to passing a degree or finishing school at whatever age and being like, I don't know what I'm doing next. This is awesome. And the whole thing about, you know, when you go for an interview, what experience have you got? And all you've got is, you know, sitting in a classroom.
Exactly, and you've got all this experience.
Yeah, so it actually happens in Sweden. So
I know, it's a thing
that does happen.
We should just copy those guys, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's what I always say to governments. I'm just like, you know, the answer is out there, because somebody else has already done it. Yeah. So it's not even hard. You just copy somebody else who's done it correctly and then redo it.
Absolutely.
Which is good. And do you know which one of your daughters?
She's doing really well in school. She's in a mainstream school.
It's amazing.
But
do you think things will change for her?
I'm not sure. I think school's a big indication. Yeah. I think the main difference from me to her is that her mask is completely off.
Oh, love it.
It's off.
Yeah.
My mask was on a little bit. Yeah. Her mask is off. It's out there. Like, it's completely off, and she's amazing.
And do you think it's because it's so safe? It's safe at home. It's safe at school. Everybody loves her.
She's got like her school are like amazing with her.
Yes.
You know,
I was going to say, are you in there interfering? Are you like, you should try this?
No, I'm not. It wasn't until the
worst parent.
It wasn't until the head teacher recognised me, which was really like cool but awkward at the same time. Like, because I get like a little bit embarrassed when people like, it's not often it happens.
No.
So like when I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot I forgot about my following for a minute.
Yes.
You know, I sometimes like don't think of the numbers, like 1.2 million on TikTok. That's like insane.
That
like,
is insane.
like,
but it's like, did you ever imagine that you would be the face of this?
No. No,
for 1.2 million people.
No, when I originally started my social media, the reason I started is I read a piece of information that when an ADHD child reaches year 7 high school, they would have received 20,000 negative comments on them. So I thought, you know, I need to make a difference here. Obviously, you know, I'm not naive. There are challenges to ADHD. I completely accept that. Yeah. But there's also so many positives, and I think, you know, if you fully understand your brain, I think that's a massive part of it. I don't think especially children, I don't think they fully understand their brains, and that's what this book, you know, aims to do. Be like, oh, that explains that. That's why I acted like that. What can I do differently next time? I'm going to try this strategy. So you've got your toolkit. I'm going to keep adding all these strategies, and you know, like, and that's, you know, let's power through this, because you can't change this. There's no cure for this. This is your brain type.
Because I was going to ask, how does it work? Is it like ADHD for life?
Yes.
Or is it ADHD and then you can maybe grow out of it?
No, it's for life.
No, it's for life.
So that's why a lot of children are medicated. So I've seen medication change lives. So we're in constant communication with CAMs, who are like the doctors who deal with like the medication side. Okay. So there's constant feedback. You know, I'm trained in medication, so I'll help medicate children and make sure that, you know, they're taking the medication and not like spitting it out and things like that.
So what happens? Is it like a pill in the morning? What's the deal? Yeah,
it depends. It's completely individual to the child. Okay. So some might be on a slow release one for like and have to have a top up in the afternoon.
Okay.
Some could be on one for just one throughout the day. So it's you know, it's completely individualised. But for me, a lot of what we see in my school is, especially the primary, trying to get hold of the medication is difficult in the first place, in the waiting lists. So you might not have access to that. Sometimes you'd be waiting like 1 or 2 years to get on a medication route. Yeah. But obviously, just know your child. Medication's not always the right path for them. There's been times where I've had to speak to doctors and say, look, the dosage is wrong. Like I've rang up and say, look, the dosage is, you know, we haven't got it right. And I think you obviously need to get that balance. But when like, especially our older lads, they might get year 10 and 11, and when they started obviously to grow up and mature, they're starting to choose themselves and have the ability to think, oh, actually, I'm going to try manage without medication. So. Yeah, if it was my child and they were really struggling at school, I would say, like, definitely try the medication and make sure it's right for you. Then when you get to like 15, 16, see if you can, you know, try and manage without it. Yeah. And like,
what would you say to a parent who's really scared about the medication part? You know. Like who's, you know, I would say like,
obviously with any medication there's side effects. So obviously just research what type of medication it is, and just be aware of that, because, you know, with any medication you take, there's going to be a side effect. Yeah. So the reason I haven't personally taken medication is a little bit of ADHD stubbornness involved, thinking, well, I've managed 34 years.
No, and it's true.
Like, you have managed, but also, like, I think I have an understanding of this, and my wife's like amazing. And she'll be like, you're being a bit snappy. I'll be like, yeah, I need a moving break. Let's go out in nature. Let's walk the dog. That's, you know, that's
Where's the book for partners? Is that on book number 3?
Potentially.
How to manage your ADHD partner?
Yes, so.
So come on then. You talked about your magic wand. What if you had 3 wishes that you could grant? What would they be? What would you want to do? Because you mentioned the curriculum. What
really, you know, gets me down is these stories of children who are being punished for things that are like ADHD traits, for, you know, not being able to sit still and getting detentions and things like that. So my dream would be for children to not have any detentions, especially removing break times and play times from an ADHD child. You know, because that's causing damage to them.
Which is actually counter, because that's probably what they actually need. Absolutely. With your movement breaks. So
you know, you have a child act up, right? You're missing. It's like an ADHD child, right? You're missing your break time, an hour of play. Right.
Wow.
So guess who's going to have an issue in the afternoon?
Yeah, exactly.
You, as a teacher.
Yeah.
Because how are you going to manage all them levels of hyperactivity now in a classroom with 29 other children?
Yeah.
Like, that's not the way to do it. You know, there's so many other ways you can manage. You know, restorative practice, doing conflict resolution, one-on-one coaching. You know, it doesn't have to be this what you learn from detention.
Yeah.
Like, I put a post on Instagram and Facebook that a child had to do, like, I will sit still.
Yeah.
You know, that's an ADHD child.
Yeah.
Can't physically sit still. Where, like, this is inclusive for me now. I'm not sat. You know, I've got a standing desk.
Yes.
Like, this is accessible for me.
Yeah.
I've got a standing desk in my classroom. It's not difficult to, you know, provide that
alternative
seating.
much. Yeah.
Any classroom can do that.
Exactly.
So no child should be forced to sit still. Not when, you know, at a desk in the Victorian era. We've evolved so much from. Well, should have.
Well, we should have.
We need to evolve so much from that.
Yeah.
And there's just little things we can do to make our classrooms more inclusive, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one step at a time.
One step at a time.
One book at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Very, very proud of you. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you guys as well.
Can't wait to see how this book is received by the whole world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then, let's hopefully be back with book number 2.
Absolutely.
Talking some more. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
The last couple of days doing the audio for us.
Absolutely loved it.
And then doing this for us, which is amazing. And obviously, it's great to see you in person.
Likewise.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Absolutely.
Did you realise publishing was going to be this much fun?
Not to be honest, well, you guys understood the vision. I wanted to create a book that was, you know, written for an ADHD brain, not just information, but how is it the information presented?
Yeah.
You guys understood that.
Yeah.
You know, like sensory points, movement breaks.
And we have to give a big up to Matt.
Absolutely, Matt was like
what a great illustrator for you.
Super patient.
Yes.
You know, with my ADHD perfectionism, I was like, I don't like that bit.
Yes.
And it must have been really like we've had to redesign the full front cover.
Yeah.
Because my vision in my head didn't match the initial drawings.
Yeah, because normally it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Normally you give us the text and then we get an illustrator to illustrate.
Yeah.
And then you just see the finished product.
Yeah.
But you were like,
well, I've had so much control over this.
As you should.
And like every little doodle from the that shows the signs of inattentive ADHD. Every little doodle, I was like, actually, I don't actually like that doodle. Well, that's a little bit overstimulating, that doodle. So take that one out.
It's brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. You should be totally proud of yourself. And thank you from everyone who's going to benefit from reading this book. Now let's try together to get it out to as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.